Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Faith without works is dead. I don't wanna die so soon. I got moves to make instead. I ain't scared, I'm prepared. Big ideas inside my head. I'm gonna make them manifest. And I'm dressed for success. I left, right, order my steps. Network, I ain't gotta do it by myself. Who you know, show me who you know. Better let them know we bout to blow. It's time to go, go, go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah. Go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah, 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 yeah. I ain't tryna trade my time, yeah. Simply wanna show you what I'm worth, yeah. Daily I'ma stay on my grind. Have a little faith and go to work. Yeah, 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 yeah. Go to work. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm on grind like every day, 'cause I want everything. I can do anything. Check my resume. It's people against you. They see what you've been through. But look in the mirror, tap into your spirit. There's power within you. Like LinkedIn, I'm locked in, get the job done when I clock in. I weighed out my options, put the work in, that's action, no lacking, just stacking. Big dreams I'm attracting, no accidents, that's fate. Just go in and have a little faith. Faith without works is dead. I don't wanna die so soon. I got moves to make instead, I ain't scared, I'm prepared. Big ideas inside my head, I'm gonna make them manifest. And I'm dressed for success. I left, right, order my steps. Network, I ain't gotta do it by myself. Who you know, show me who you know. Better let them know we bout to blow. It's time to go, go, go. Go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah. Go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah, 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 yeah. I ain't tryna trade my time, yeah. Simply wanna show you what I'm worth, yeah. Daily I'ma stay on my grind, yeah. Have a little faith and go to work. Yeah, 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 yeah. Go to work. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, now go nuts.
Hey there, I'm Trevor Houston, the creator of the Who You Know Summit, and I'd like to welcome you to the Who You Know Job Networking Show.
On our program, we'd like to show you the job search like you've never seen.
Everything from getting noticed by employers, how to properly format your resume, and how to network effectively using LinkedIn to drive recruiters to your profile.
We even take suggestions from our amazing community.
So if you want to learn all things job search, go ahead and subscribe now.
Focus. It's all about the job search. So if you want to learn how to land that next success, you heard them. All you got to do is subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss out on a thing. Welcome to the Who You Know Job Networking Show, where what you know is important, but
Who you know?
Who you know can make all the difference in your job search. Guys, I'm super excited. We've got an amazing mic drop episode for you today. I promise some mic drops on this episode. Trust me when I tell you that. We got Rachel Druckenmiller with us today, and it's going to be fire. So welcome, welcome, welcome. But before we dive into all of that, I do want to see who do we have in the audience with us. Mark, who do you got on your side?
I got our good friend Sean Welsh over in Georgia. Hey, Sean, Joelle Fry, Maureen Fitzgerald up in Chicago, Chi-Town.
Yeah.
How you doing?
What about you, Foster?
Sean Welch was, we see Sean quite a bit. Sean is with us, Pauline Garrett. Hey, Pauline. And there's some lady named Rachel Druckenmiller.
That's amazing. Good to see you as well, right? And on her page, we've got an audience over there, too. I see Laura Hamo. Good to see you there. Eric Silverman, my man in the whole 50 grand. Russ Hedge, good to see you. Welcome to the Who You Know show. And if it's your first time, go ahead and put hashtag first time down there in the chat. We'd love to welcome you. We would love that. We actually like to give out some awards for our top engagers. So get in the chat right now. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know if you're searching for a job, what it is you're searching for, all of those things, so that we can tally up our engagement for next episode. But we do have some winners from our last episode. So in third place, who do we got in third place, Mark?
We got our good friend Pauline Garrett. Hey, Pauline, up in McKinney. Congrats, Pauline. She had 24.
24, Pauline. Good job. And in second place, who do we got, Foster?
Second place, Joelle Fry. I hung out with her last night at the event. Joelle, you're kicking it, girl.
Nice. And I think Joelle might be in the running for the month.
Yeah, Joelle.
Or for the quarter.
Around very long. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So, Joelle, I might be seeing you pretty soon. Just saying. And in first place, can we get a drum roll, please? Drum roll.
Yeah.
Mark, who do we got?
By a big margin, Sean Welsh. Hey,
Welsh.
Sean, congrats. Man, he had 65 comments up in there. So, hey, keep them coming, because here's why. Not only will you get more engagement, but there are people looking for you. So be sure to post in there or comment in the chat what you're looking for if you're looking.
100%. And if you're hiring, let us know that too. We want to hear from you.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. So for the month, right, the top engager of the month, you're going to get one of these Who You Know ice shakers. We're going to hook you up, okay, because I promise everything tastes better out of this cup.
And it stays cold or it stays hot, whichever one you want.
Whatever you put in here, it's just going to be better, okay? I'm going to make your life better with one of these. And for the top engager of the quarter, okay, you actually get a seat at the table. We want you here. We want to blow you up. We want to highlight whatever it is that you got going on. Maybe you're looking for a job. Maybe you're hiring. I don't know what you're doing here on LinkedIn on a Wednesday afternoon. What the heck are you doing here? Matter of fact, tell me that in the chat. What are you doing here? Whatever it is, if you're the top engager of the quarter, we want to highlight you and promote it and put some spotlight on it. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, around here.
Oh, and by the way, you do want an ice shaker, because listen, I got a Yeti and an ice shaker, and guess what stays colder longer?
The ice shaker works better than my Yeti.
As seen on Shark Tank, that's right.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, and here's the deal, guys. We got some amazing giveaways for y'all today. We actually have Rachel's, well, we're going to hear more about it in a minute, but we got Rachel's Resilience Toolkit. We're going to be giving out to the entire audience if you wait till the very end. You do have to stay with us to the end of this show to get access to that. And we're also going to be giving away some VIP access tickets to our backstage pass and after party of this show, where we're going to be doing a live studio audience. We're going to have a big party. It's going to be amazing. That's on April the 6th. So if you want a ticket, you need to hang out with us and kick it at the very end. You know what I'm saying? You want a ticket, you got to kick it at the very end.
Oh, man.
You like that?
Yeah, that's kind of like a dad, just like one of my dad jokes.
Yeah, those are pretty bad. And I also want to give a special shout out to everyone that is got their channel connected with Restream Pairing.
Yeah.
So we got Lena Stutz, we got Sean, he's got his channel connected. I believe Mike Mediterranean's got his. Rachel's got hers connected. Yeah. So everybody that's connected their channels to Restream Pairs, there's actually a live stream going on their channel right now as we speak. And so they're actually helping us to spread this word and get the message out to more and more people. So I just want to say thank thank you for that. And if you would like to learn how to pair your channel to do the same thing, just put hashtag pairing down there in the chat, and I'll actually send you some instructions. It's really, really simple. It's like 3 clicks, boom, and now you got this show pumping from your channel as well. So just put hashtag pairing if you want to do that.
Yeah.
We always like to bless the show with a prayer for the listeners. So Foster, will you do us the honors, please, sir?
More than glad to do that. Guys, listen. Let's bow with me. Let's go to the Lord. Let's ask him what we want to do and teach us where he wants us to do. Okay? Where he wants us to be. Father God, we thank you for another day. We thank you for the cooler weather, but we're ready. We're ready for spring. We're already doing spring cleaning and stuff. And we thank you that we live another year to see another spring coming. And we thank you for the job that you got coming for us in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Amen. And you, speaking of job, I know you got a job you want to talk about.
I got a job, but you know what I saw? Rebecca Pulford, guys, look in the chat. Rebecca Pulford's looking for somebody. Y'all look and see what Rebecca said. But my job is an HR supply, HD supply, guys, is in Flower Mound. And they're looking for an HR generalist. And they are only looking for 2 years of experience in this position of being an HR generalist. Maybe you were an HR manager at a different company before. Sometimes those positions are named the same, you know. So who you want to reach out to is a lady that's right out of our HR network every Wednesday. Her name is Yolanda Charles. Let me tell you what Yolanda's email is. It's Yolanda, YULONDA .Charles. Y'all can do Charles. Come on, son.
Wow.
At hdsupply.com. And you guys see HD Supply's commercials all over the TV. Let me give it to you again. Yolanda, YULONDA .Charles at hdsupply.com.
Amazing. Beautiful. Y'all go connect with that opportunity if it fits you. And we've got a lot to be thankful for, a lot to be grateful for, because we got so many people who are back to their cash flow. They're back to work now. So we want to celebrate all our recent landings. Mark, who do we got?
All right, get your money guns ready. If you got them, get your money guns ready. We got Heather Trulib. Hey, Heather, congratulations. We got, he was just on the show, DeMar Phillips. Hey, DeMar, congrats on that landing for sure. Alicia Toole. Congratulations, Alicia, Marvin Fisher, Christopher Torres, Sarah Maxwell, John Hartigan, and she was in the chat. Hopefully she's still here. Pamela Lloyd, congratulations. Here's some money, cash flow. Welcome to their new positions, everyone. Hey, what I want to tell you,
you're gonna mention our special guy. Okay.
But I do want to just also encourage you guys to connect with these people. There are a ton more in the previous comments, so make sure that you connect with them as well. Find out what worked for them. Find out what was effective, and find out if that company is looking for your position.
Exactly.
So you can get back to your cash flow. So congratulations, everyone.
Absolutely. Make sure you pay it forward. Go build a relationship inside the new company you go work for. Pay it forward. You know what I'm talking about.
Look at that. It was only 2.
So now, I got something. I'm going to talk a little bit more about pay it forward, okay?
Pay it forward.
Yeah.
So my tip of the week this week is about LinkedIn engagement pods, okay? There's a little bit of like, people don't really understand what this is and how we're going to use it and how we're going to, put this tool to use. So if you've never heard of a LinkedIn engagement pod before, I just want you to put pod down there in the chat, all right? Just put pod down there in the chat. So let me tell you basically what this is. So a pod on LinkedIn, or it could be on any social media, but on LinkedIn is basically a group message where we've got up to 50 people we can put inside of this group message, okay? And it's basically a simple process where everybody's there to help each other, okay?
Right.
Everybody's there to, help each other become more visible, support each other, champion each other, make sure that we're all winning together, okay? So we've been putting these pods together for a long time. After people come through our summit, we get them in. And basically what you're going to want to do is, as you're posting new content on LinkedIn, you're going to take the URL, take that link to that post, drop it inside that pod, okay? And everybody's job is really simple, okay? Everybody's job is to like, comment, share as soon as you see that, okay? As soon as you see that link go in, go to that post, like, comment, and share. And so the reason why this is important is it kind of like gives you an organic boost to your post, all right? Because LinkedIn's algorithm goes, ooh, wow, wait a minute, this post just got 50 new likes and 50 new comments on it. And so it starts to go to the second connections and the third connections, and the algorithm starts to show it to more and more and more people, right? We recently had Mike Mediterranean come through the summit, and obviously he's back to work now,
Right.
and he's doing some amazing things. But I want to just share some of his results from doing this exact strategy right here. So in about a year's time, okay, since he started, he recorded the analytics, and over 2.5 million views. 2.5 million views, guys. That's the power of these LinkedIn engagement pods. When everyone works together, amazing things happen, right? It's hard on your own, isn't it? Isn't it kind of tough on your own? But when people come together as a community and we support each other, amazing things can happen. So 2.5 million views. He's had over 10,000 likes, over 12,000 comments, over 102 shares, right? So his content, his profiles, and he's getting speaking gigs. There's people, I've seen his posts are now being featured by LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been featuring his posts all the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to share that because there are some people that just may not understand why are we doing this? Why are we putting you in this engagement pod? It's really simple, guys. We're going to work together so that we can all become visible and get your information out there to more and more people. And that way, what happens is you start to drive views. And those views bring in recruiters and companies, because who's on LinkedIn? Recruiters, companies, hiring managers.
You can bet that's true.
And so if you're visible, right, and the algorithm is favoring you, right, all of a sudden you're driving recruiter views to look at your profile. And I promise you, that's a good thing when you're in the job search. So, guys, if you want to learn more about this strategy, I suggest you come through our summit. We'll dive a little bit more into how it actually works. But I just wanted to share that. It's called a LinkedIn Engagement Pod. If you've never heard one before, come through our summit.
Yeah, I got a sidebar to that just to add, because I had a conversation yesterday, with somebody who was in the job search, got landed, he had come through the summit. But I asked him, I said, are you continuing to stay networked, stay engaged? And he said, no.
Yeah, wrong.
And yeah, absolutely the wrong answer, because, look, we've seen it. We've seen people come through the Dallas-Fort Worth Career Search Network, 2, sometimes 3 or more times, right? We have seen people have to go back in, and if you stop networking once you get landed, and you find yourself out searching again, now you got to start that train back up and get that rolling when you could have just kept it rolling.
Yeah, think about it. So the average tenure on a job today, guys, is 3 to 4 years. Okay, you're gonna be in the job search again, unless you're a business owner or entrepreneur and you're doing it for yourself. Okay, you will be in this again. I mean, that's just the stats. 3 to 4 years. So, wouldn't it make sense to proactively be networking in advance? Like, why are you going to stop as soon as you get a job and just go back and put your head down? Well, guess what? When you get let go and fired again, or whatever happens, or the country shuts down,
now you got to ramp up again.
Right? I mean, guys, come on now. We saw a lot with COVID. Nobody was expecting that.
Nobody was expecting that.
And then all of a sudden you're a fish out of water and you don't know what to do and you don't have a network to support you, right? So network in advance, guys. Network in advance. It's super important. There's that saying in sales, always be closing. Well, always be networking. How about that?
Yeah.
That was more powerful.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%. Guys, we got to go to a real quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we got Rachel Druckenmiller in the house, and I promise a few mic drops.
If anyone is out there and you're a realtor or you are looking to get your real estate license, it's a very low-cost entry, $300 to take your real estate course online. Inexpensive compared to like a college. EXP is $150 to join, and it's like $84 a month. So relatively speaking, these are very inexpensive costs. If you are interested in that and you want to work with me as a realtor, I'd love to have you join my team, and you want to hear about the model, then go to join10xempire.com, and I do this opportunity call every Tuesday. Would love to answer your questions and tell you more about what I'm doing. If anyone out there is interested in working with me.
Hey, Trevor Houston here from the Who You Know Job Networking Show. And if you're currently out of work and maybe feeling a little past your prime and employers aren't necessarily knocking your door down to hire you, I want to tell you about a free training we have called the Career Transition Summit, where it's going to do 3 things. These 3 secret things are going to help you get back to your cash flow. So number 1, it's going to help you to rehumanize the experience of finding a job. It's been dehumanized. We need to put that human element back in. And number 2, we have this special formula that helps you to get noticed and stand out from your competition. And number 3, we have the formula and the systems to help you to get back to work by saying what you need to say in the interview process so you can close the deal and get your bank account full again. And the best news is it's absolutely free. So if that's you and you're feeling like you're a little past your prime, and we know you're not, and you really want to look as good on the outside as you are on the inside, click the link now to gain special access to this free training we have called the Career Transition Summit. It's going to get you back to your cash flow. It's going to help you to get noticed and really get you feeling good about yourself. So click the link now to get started.
I believe that words have power. And I believe that there's something special that happens when a group of people comes together and hears the same message. For me, what I love to have the opportunity to do is to give people the chance to think differently, to help them experience some level of transformation in their life, and really serving as a catalyst for unlocking and unleashing what's possible. I want people to leave our time together feeling a bit more alive in their work, in their life, in their relationships, because all these things are connected.
Well, welcome back to the Who You Know Job Networking Show, where what you know is important, but
Who you know?
Who you know?
Who you know makes all the difference in your job
It
search.
does.
well, let me tell you who I know. Today's very special VIP sponsor is Rachel Druckenmiller, and she is on a mission to humanize the workplace by igniting resilience, connection, engagement, and compassion in organizations, leaders, and teams. She's facilitated nearly 300 virtual learning experiences since March 2020 as a keynote speaker, workshop facilitator, and leadership trainer. Follow her on LinkedIn, subscribe to her Unmute Yourself LinkedIn newsletter, and learn more about her work at her website, unmutedlife.com. If everybody can give a warm Who You Know welcome for Rachel Druckenmiller.
All right, Rachel, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
We're so glad to have you here, and I'm pumped up because I'm just all jacked up on Mountain Dew today, and I'm excited you're here. Okay, so I was reading your form, and I was going back and doing a little research on you in here, and it says that you're the daughter of 2 solopreneurs. Okay, You're the daughter of 2 solopreneurs. Can you tell us about that, and maybe how your parents have helped shape, who you are today and where you've come from and where you're at?
Yeah. So it's interesting. I think one of the reasons I'm drawn and connected to you and your message is my dad's company for a long time was called Career Transition Services. And he helped people that were in career transition. And
Nice.
I've never known him to work for anybody else. My parents were both teachers, and they decided to kind of, teach in a different way through the work that they do. So my dad's a management consultant, and my mom is a financial planner. And I remember when I was in middle school and my parents came home from a Tony Robbins conference and they walked on coals and all that. And they walked in the door and my dad was like, Mom's going to start her own business. And she's now had her own company for almost 25 years. And so the greatest gift they gave me is that I never saw them hate work.
I'm going to give you one for that. For your parents. That's for your parents.
Yes, my parents. Like, I actually thought it was normal. I thought that work should be something that we enjoy, and that was something that was life-giving and something that we look forward to, and not something we were defeated by. Like, that was my norm. So imagine when I get into the workforce and it's like, oh wait, that's not how this is working for everybody.
Yeah, like the stats are pretty amazing, and I know that they've changed a lot, but like pre-COVID, it was like 75% of Americans hate what they do for a living. Like, and then, COVID came in and just shook things up a little bit, and people are now the Great Resignation, and people are changing and trying to do things to fulfill themselves and make themselves happy. So you're absolutely right. I think you're spot on when you're saying that.
Thanks. It was a gift. I mean, and they really encouraged me to like pave my own way and talk about who you know. My dad got me my first job as an intern at an insurance brokerage firm in college, and I ended up, I was like, nobody says like, I want to have a career in insurance, when they're coming out of school.
No doubt.
Up. But I was there for 13 years full time, and it was that career. I was very entrepreneurial and kind of paved my own path by pursuing things that interested me, and that made me feel alive. And then 2.5 years ago, I left and did my own thing.
Well,
I like that word.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur. I got to give you one on that one.
Well, let's talk about that. So when and why did you start your professional career in public speaking? Because I was watching some of your stuff. I was like, oh, okay, Rachel, she got it going on. So like you're up there on the stages doing your thing. When did you start that? And you're really good too, by the way. So how did you get so good? And how long have you been doing that? And where did all that come from? Where did it start?
Well, I think one of the things I want to point out is that a lot of times people see someone doing what I do and they're like, oh, you've just like always been confident and extroverted, and you were probably in theater in school and this is a thing for you. But the reality is that is so untrue. I actually avoided public speaking classes. I avoided debate classes. I love singing, but I avoided choir. I was actually terrified to speak in front of people, and it wasn't until I started to get asked. So I was out of college maybe 2 years. Actually, in college, I did research with a professor, and she asked me as a sophomore, we wrote a paper together, and she's like, do you want to come speak at this Eastern Sociological Society conference in New York City? And so I went with my parents, and I got to speak where, I'm in a room with a bunch of people that are way more qualified than me. But one of the things that I've come to learn over the course of my career is that, and I tell people this all the time that are doubting themselves, that an invitation is an indication of a qualification.
Woo!
Yeah, that's a good one. Say that again.
An invitation is an indication of a qualification.
Oh, you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of when God was telling Moses, to go do a little something with, over there in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? And Moses was like,
I can't talk.
I got a stutter. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
he got that invitation though, right? He got that invitation, so God had already qualified him. He got
that's good.
Right?
That's heavy. That's a good point.
Right? So I like what you said. Say it one more time for me.
Come on with it.
An invitation is an indication of a qualification.
Woo! I like that.
I'm gonna throw another one down.
Yeah, I gotta get one. Ooh-wee.
Okay. So you also said that you had a fear though. You had a fear of public speaking. So I'm very similar. I was terrified. Like literally, I had my like this. I'd be shaking.
He's not lying.
And so talk to me about your fear, and then what helped you overcome that fear, and then where do you feel like fear comes from? What is fear to you in your eyes? What do you view it as?
Well, I mean, for me, like when I first started speaking, like the first time I got paid to speak, it was 2 years out of college, and I got asked to go speak back at my alma mater, which is a small liberal arts school, and it was the human resources program. So again, client of ours, a client of ours was the HR director at her company, and she was also an adjunct professor at my alma mater. And so she reached out and was like, hey, we do this HR class. We have a unit on workplace wellness, which is the field I've been in for the past 16 years. She was like, will you come teach a class? So again, invitation.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already qualified, even though I'm 2 years out of school and I have really no idea what I'm doing, but I know at least like 5% more than they do. So that makes me an expert.
That's all you got to talk about, just that 5. That's it.
Right, just 5. Like, you just have to know, like, you have to be like one step further along than somebody else, and then they like think you know what you're talking about. And like I look back at what I created, I'm like, oh my gosh, the presentations were like garbage, but I gave myself reps. Like I started to get reps and I got paid $75 and I was like, I cannot believe I just got paid $75 to talk to people. And then it just started to naturally evolve, and like people started to ask me to speak at other things, and I was like, okay. And then I went through a journey with my health. I've had different health challenges for a lot of my life, relating to my like ear, nose, and throat, and lots of different issues. And I chose to, they say make your mess your message. And for me, I'm like, all right, I've been given this mess of that. I burned out 5 years ago. I was like, I'm going to take my mess and turn that into a message. I got hit by a pickup truck in the midst of COVID, in the midst of launching a business. And I'm like, I'm going to turn that into a message. So what's really propelled me beyond my fear is this belief, like I have in my living room. It's Jeremiah 1:5. Before you were born, I set you apart.
Yes, ma'am.
And I believe that like in my bones. And so I'm like, if these things are not happening to me, like these things are happening for me because I'm in a position to do something with it, to inspire and awaken and activate and give hope to other people.
That's that fire right there. That's what I like to do. I like to awaken people, spark them when you see the what's that song, Dry Bones Come Alive, right? And you see them and they're dry, and you're
Can
looking
these
at
bones live?
Yeah, you're watching this, and they don't have any light in their eyes, and they're hopeless. You're like, that's the state of mind that they're in, the mindset. And if you can go in and activate them, and you see that light come back on, you know what I'm talking about, Rachel. Like, there's nothing better than that. There's no money out there. There's no other greater reward than to be able to speak life into somebody and watch them come to life again. It's amazing.
That's a good one. Hey, Rachel, I was studying it. Thanks for linking in with me, because I started studying your profile, and I saw all of this information on singing. And I said, you know what? Now, I cannot sing. Oh, my God. But tell us a little bit about how singing has sparked what you're doing, what God made you as a person. It sounds like you are out there doing what God put you on earth to do, and that's cool.
I want to put her on the spot and see if she'll sing for
I
us.
wasn't going to ask you to do that, but that's true.
Hold on. I mean, we're live on everything. I mean, we're just talking about, overcoming fears.
Tell us about it before you do. Tell us about it a little bit.
So I love singing since I was really little, but like a lot of us, I kept my light under a bushel, right? Like I love to do this thing, but just for myself. Like it's really vulnerable to sing, like in front of people.
Oh man, is it ever?
Oh yeah.
It's like you could be judged, you could be critiqued. I mean, gosh, all you have to do is watch one episode of American Idol and everyone's like destroying people, And so I love to do it, but it gave me so much joy, but I wouldn't do it in public, And it wasn't until my senior year of high school, I took voice lessons. They made me sing at the concert. I hated it. I couldn't wait to sit down. And then my junior year of college, came back from a semester abroad in Spain. It's the power of having novel experiences, of going someplace new and challenging yourself. And I came back and something in me was different. And I tried out for the gospel choir.
Oh, wow.
College gospel choir. And the lyric of the song, I mean, my voice is it's been a little bit like held back lately, but I'm going to let the Spirit move. I can do a little snippet of that song.
Oh, let's go.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh, it's on.
We're all about Spirit snippets. Come on.
All right. So the song goes like this. This morning when I rose, I didn't have no doubts.
Ooh.
This morning when I rose, I didn't have no doubt. This morning when I rose, I didn't have no doubt. I know the Lord will take care of me, will provide for me.
Ooh.
Lead and guide me all the way, all the way.
Oh, snap. With the bowl.
Dump that bowl. Dump the whole bowl.
The whole bowl.
Rachel, you are anointed with that girl. And you know what's crazy is you mentioned that you have challenges with ear, nose, and throat things. So that shows you how powerful God's word is right there. Hey. I'm not going to sing. I can't sing. Tell him, Trevor.
Chuck Princefield said, okay,
Trevor
she
Hums.
can sing.
Yeah.
Golly, Rachel.
Woo! Okay. All right. So, wow.
I got to get some more of that. You
Number
gotta tell me how to
two,
get that.
once you started doing that, okay, because like you said, you used to sing in private, and now you just sang about the whole audience. I'm sure the audience. Hey, audience, let me get a scale of 1 to 10 over here on.
Yeah. Scale it out.
Scale of
y'all.
1 to 10. 10s only, or plus. But
God.
But no,
Scale of 10 to 10.
I'm pretty sure though that like that has helped to build some confidence, right?
Ooh.
Right?
Oh, I mean, well, I didn't do it. So I didn't integrate this into my speaking at all until 3 years ago. I went through a program called Heroic Public Speaking with Michael Port and Amy Port. And it was like this 6-month program, and we wrote scripts, and we worked with writing coaches and improv coaches. And we had like this 2-minute improv activity where we had to tell a meaningful story. And I was matched with this guy, James Leith. And I was telling the story about the gospel choir thing, about how I found my voice, and I stood in the church, and I waited till everybody left, and I stood at the mic, and I closed my eyes, and I sang that lyric, and then I got my first solo. And then I had a solo every semester after that, and I was telling that story. He's like, oh, you tell that story every time you speak, right? And I was like, no, I've never told that story on stage. He was like, what are you doing? So I, at the last minute, integrated the singing snippet. I was with my writing coach. I was like, should I like actually sing when I talk about the story of when I sing? She was like, is this a rhetorical question? Like, it's like, should I use my superpower? You know, relating to this conversation, it's like,
that's
we
a
hold
superpower.
back, we minimize the thing that's our gift.
Say
and
it again.
Judge it when we
Say
should
it
be putting
again.
it out there.
We minimize the thing that's our gift, right?
Yes.
That's exact that right there. Go ahead and hit a mic on that. Hit that. Yeah.
Keep them going, Mark. Keep them going.
It's so true. It's so true. Okay, so let me explain, and I want to relate here. So, for me, I was terrified. Remember, I said I was terrified of public speaking, right? There's a reason why I was terrified of it. Is because the enemy does not want you to be successful in your gift. Think about it.
Not at all.
God gave you a gift, and the enemy wants to destroy that. And so he wants to make you afraid of your own gift. And you just like, I was like, oh, I don't want to talk. I don't want to do public speaking or whatever. And look, we're doing this now. Same with you. You know, you got a gift, girl. You got a voice.
We're going to see that. I think we're going to see that in the future. I really think something's going to happen. And if I can help that, I got a big old network, girl.
How many in the audience I'd like to hear down in the chat, if you have a gift, something that you know has been given to you by God, and let me know if it terrifies you.
Yeah.
Let me know if it literally is just terrifying. And then so I just think that's amazing. So so you overcame that, you started using it, you're doing your public speaking, you're out there crushing it. Okay. Let's talk about some of the confidence building tools, because you talk a lot about building confidence in yourself and your strengths and your skills. What tools or practices do you find most helpful for job seekers? Right, to build their confidence, because a lot of times these job seekers, they're getting rejected, man. They feel
over and over again. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. What would you recommend for someone like that?
There's a couple things I like to do. Some involve other people, and some you can do by yourself. Some of them, one of them is really around elevating and getting clear about what your strengths are. So there's a practice I learned out of the University of Michigan called the reflected best self. And the way that it works is you make a list of like 6 to 8 people that know you, pretty well across different areas of your life. And you reach out to them. You can do this by email, so it's like not as scary. And you just reach out and say, hey, I'm doing some like professional growth and, in this transitional point in my career. And you're somebody who knows me well. Can you tell me a story about a time where you've seen me at my best?
Oh.
What strengths showed up? What did you see? Basically, like what showed up when I showed up. And by allowing other people to reflect back the goodness they see in us, we start to get a clearer picture of what it is that we do well that oftentimes like we take for granted. Like a lot of time what we get reflected back, we're like, well, yeah, I do that. It's like, well, yeah, like not everybody does that. Like you're good at that.
That's so true, because a lot of times we don't see our own. You know what I'm saying? Mark says it best. He says we're too close to the trees to see the forest, right? We're in it. You know what I mean? And so we don't always see what other people see and the qualities and the traits and all of that stuff. And so I'd like to ask the audience to also tell me in here how did you frame it in your email? How did you frame it? Tell me what where I shine or something like that. What did you say?
Yeah, so you would send an email and say, can you tell me about a time where you've seen me at my best?
Seen me at my best. Okay, tell me in the chat. I want to know. Tell me a time when you've seen me at my best. What does that look like to you? I'd like to know just for my own feedback.
Yeah. Our previous question got a lot of 10s.
Ooh.
We got some 12s. We got people breaking. Girl, you broke the scale. You know what I'm saying?
People are kind.
What about?
I think,
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I really think like when it comes to asking for this, it can be uncomfortable because a lot of the times we're told growing up, like especially women, like don't toot your own horn. That's self-serving.
Yeah.
Like if you're ultimately doing this so that you can do something that's going to help other people and help yourself step into what you're meant to do, that is not selfish. That's not self-serving.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yep.
So what
That's
about
the motivation?
Energy? What about energy? Okay, because I know, like for job seekers, hey, listen. Even for myself, sometimes, listen. I got a lot of energy. I'm like a big ball of energy, but there are times when, listen, the weight of the world. Okay, the weight of the world, and we all have that weight, guys. I want you to know that. Whether you're seeking employment, you're working full time, you got things going on. We all have the weight of the world, and when you feel that weight and you feel like, ugh. What are some things that you can do to help get your energy back up and put you in a position to go out there and start crushing it again?
Yeah. So one of the things I like to do is to like look back for what I call like the proof in your past. So remind yourself, it might be helpful to journal about this. I'm a big journaler. I have like a collection of journals. To jot down, tell yourself a story about a time in the past where you went through something difficult and you got through it. Like as if you're just telling somebody the story for the first time. And doing that, going through that, like when I went through, this car accident experience, right? I fractured my back. I'm like, geez, okay, well, hey, remember like 3 years earlier when you burned out and got mono and had to and lost your voice and had to like figure out how to recalibrate your life? You got through that and you made it through. And the way you got through it, a couple ways. One is by reaching out to people. I like to say, don't hesitate, initiate.
Ooh.
Like... When you have that moment, right? Like we know that the people who survive stress the best are the people that increase their social investments, people that connect in the middle of stress when you want to crawl into a hole. So there's something I learned from Brene Brown called a square squad.
Oh, yeah.
And your square squad are the names of the people that fit on a 1 by 1 inch piece of paper whose opinions matter most to you. People who have been there for you in the past, people that have been sources of light or hope or encouragement, people that have called out the goodness in you, people that you view as sources of wisdom or insight or guidance or encouragement. And you keep that piece of paper, take a picture of it on your phone, tape it to your laptop, keep that in a place where you can be reminded of that. So when you have a moment where you're feeling alone or where you're feeling discouraged, look at that as your pick-me-up list of like, okay, who can I reach out to right now? Just text them and say, hey, I'm having a day. You got 5 minutes. Or like, even just like send me a funny GIF or a meme or like exchange audio messages. Like that connection is like the thing. Even if you're an introvert, like just knowing that you're not alone and knowing that you're heard by somebody else and seen by somebody else is so healing and so powerful. So that's for me one of the ways. It's that, and then also music and laughter. Like music will shift your mood in a moment.
Yep.
What about
that's so true.
What about your work in dietary and culinary work, right? Like how does that play into energy and engagement and all that?
Oh, a lot. I mean, I'm very intentional with how I nourish myself. I'm a like fitness wearable junkie. I have an Aura ring and a Whoop band. I've had a Whoop band for 3.5 years. WHOOP.
A Whoop
A
band?
Whoop band.
There it
Yep.
is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
They like you at Texas A&M.
Well, it's a really cool device, and it gives you all this data about yourself, like about your sleep. It gives you data about, you can track all sorts of stuff. Like, hey, if someone, like, I don't drink because I had acid reflux for 10 years and it just jacks my body up. So I'm very intentional with what I put in the temple.
There you go.
And so like for me, some of the primary ways I get energy are I do my best to eat like really nourishing whole foods. You know, I eat a lot of plants. I found that certain foods don't agree with my body, like dairy and gluten, which is really what got me into culinary nutrition. I used to have a food blog and teach healthy cooking classes at companies, which gave me a lot of practice in improv.
Yeah. Do you find that like maybe like an underlying theme with some of the folks that you're, trying to help and coach, that you're the leaders and or employees, that's part of maybe their problem is their diet is just all messed up, their bodies are all jacked up?
They've made no connection between the fact that they're lacking in energy and like they're treating their body like a garbage can. Like so many people there's no connection. And it's like, I don't know why I feel so crappy. Part of it's what you're putting in terms of food. Other part of it is what you're putting in terms of who you're surrounding yourself with. That matters. There's multiple ways we can nourish the body. Nourishment doesn't just come through food. It comes through food. It comes through rest. So these devices help me get enough sleep. Like if I can encourage people to change one behavior, like turn off the 5th episode of whatever. Netflix is not going away.
And go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Go to work.
Go to sleep.
I need to do that.
Man, I tell you what, I like to go to sleep early. Like I like to get me a good 8 hours.
You do well.
And so I wake up at 5, but so I like to go to bed by 9.
My circadian rhythms are messed up. That's what they told me, a big word.
But that makes sense. So it's what you're watching, it's what you're eating, it's the people you hang around, it's the environments that you're in, it's all of the stuff that you feed your mind, right? All of that creates that energy, right? And or lack thereof. If you're constantly hanging around people that are bringing you down, they're talking crap, telling you're not good enough or whatever, like you're gonna feel bad, right? Or if you're around people that are building you up all the time, and championing you, well, then you're going to feel a little bit better.
As a reason God says iron sharpens iron, so be the iron.
Yes, 100. My coach, I have a business coach I hired about a year ago, and he just sent me that. I sent him a message. I was like, I'm so grateful for you. And he wrote back, iron sharpens iron. So there
Absolutely.
It is.
Amen. Well, okay, we've got to go to a real quick break. Guys, don't go anywhere because I promise I think we might get rid of the rest of these when we come right back. Don't go anywhere.
Refill.
Hey guys, come work for the most innovative company in the world, 10X Incubator. We're launching 10,000, listen to me, 10,000 tech companies in 10 years. If you're a coder, what?
We got
programmer,
coders, we got graphic designers, we got copywriters, digital marketers, biz dev.
You name it.
You
if
got
you
skill.
like tech, love tech,
hungry.
want to be in tech, okay? We don't actually require that you get the jab here either. Just so you know, if you want it, good. If you don't want it, no problem. We are hiring. We want you. If you're good at your job, if you're disciplined, if you want to be paid well, if you want to be taken care of, if you want to be in a 10X environment, click the link below. Give us your resume and a short video, 30-second video. Just tell us who you are. Tell us what you do. We want you. We want you.
Let's go.
We want you.
It's time to pay it forward. Who You Know Nation, check it out. I got an idea. It's actually not my idea. It's not really original, but the movie Pay It Forward, where he's talking about helping 3 people. And if those 3 people help 3 people, and then those 3 people help 3 people, right? It starts to create impact and change. And that's what I'm all about. I've been doing our summit and everything with the Who You Know show now for years. Everything is free to the community. We've been giving for years, and it's always been about impact for me. And so I'm going to ask you for a favor. I'm going to ask you to pay it forward. It's something we always talk about. If we've ever provided you any value, I want you to share it to 3 job seekers, 3 people who are looking for their next successful opportunity. Or the other thing you could do would be to share the link to our summit online. You can literally just do it in a social post. You could post it out there. But if we do this, think about it. We can cause change change. We can actually make an impact, and you can be part of that. And I want you to be part of that. We appreciate you. Hope you have a phenomenal, blessed day. And let's go make some change out there in the world. All right. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Welcome back to the Who You Know Job Networking Show, where what you know is important, but
who you know.
Now we know who you know is important.
I tried to sing it.
No,
who
Mark,
you know
no.
makes all the difference in your job.
No. Yeah, okay, yeah. Don't say it. Okay.
guys, we're back with Rachel Druckenmiller, and she was just dropping the mics. Literally, she can't.
Left and right.
On the previous episode, she was singing and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, she got all the 10s. The audience loves you, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
It's blowing up.
So, Rachel, I want to talk a little bit about imposter syndrome for a minute. How do people, well, first of all, what's your definition of imposter syndrome? I know it's kind of a buzzword, but talk to us about that, your definition, and then how do people start to address this if they feel like, well, maybe I'm not really qualified for this job. Maybe I'm not the right fit for this, but I kind of want it. I feel led to it, but I don't know. I'm kind of feel like an imposter right now. What should someone do?
Well, it's this sense of inadequacy or perceived kind of like incompetence or an inability to do something despite like a past track record of proven success. And it's often affecting people that are high achievers that like if you look back, you're like, so tell me what you're basing this on, because all I see is like a trail of you killing it. And for whatever reason, you're doubting yourself. So it's this like self-doubt that arises. And I remember I was listening to a podcast a few months ago, these two women that were on Brene Brown's Unlocking Us or Dare to Lead, I forget which one, I think it was Unlocking Us podcast. And I loved what they said because I love people that just blow up concepts and give a new perspective. And they said, we need to stop pathologizing something that's a normal human experience.
That makes sense. Yeah, everybody has doubts.
Right. Like, it's not, why do you need to have a syndrome? Like, who needs like another syndrome? Like they need to be diagnosed?
Yeah, and then they're going to try and give you some medicine for it.
Yeah, you got
man.
You know?
Yeah, you need some
we got a diagnosis for that.
You need some of this Ritalin for this imposter syndrome, or what's up? Right. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That makes sense. So it's just doubt, right? It's self-doubt in your ability to go out there and crush it in the world, which is the enemy again. The enemy getting in there telling you a bunch of garbage that ain't real. Mm-hmm. Right? Because according to the world, we can do all things. According to the word.
Yes. According to the word.
And to your point, the enemy speaks in a lot of different ways, and it may be through other people. So you can't listen to that either.
You know what? Right. But hold on, I want to talk about this. And Rachel, hear this for just a second. So a lot of times it's not other people. Like, I don't know if y'all have a bunch of people just talking crap about you all the time.
Not all the time. No.
I don't. But I'm my own worst enemy, and I think it's us. It's in our heads. It's not like we really literally have people saying, man, you suck. You're not good. You shouldn't do that. You
Unless
should
you're
quit.
Evan Carmichael.
You should stop. You're the worst. No, you don't really have people out there just hating on you all 24/7. And if you do, you might want to check yourself. But what I'm saying is, like, I feel like a lot of times it's not really the outside world. It's us. It's inside. It's our. What are your thoughts on that, Rachel?
Yeah, I think it's very much internalized. I mean, I think of myself in terms of, I thought of launching a business as early as, like, seriously, as early as 2012. And I didn't leave the company I was working at until 2019. And for me, I remember I took this assessment called the Harrison assessment with a therapist, and she had me come into her office and went through the results. And one of the first things she said was like, I'm looking at your results and I'm trying to figure out, based on what I'm seeing here, how you are possibly working for somebody else. Like, based on your wiring. And she's like, but I see what it is. Your ability to essentially perceive risk is greater than your belief in yourself.
Can you elaborate on that?
Wow.
Yeah, so I was really good at like looking at all of the worst case scenario. Well, like if I did this and this doesn't work out, then this doesn't work out. And like I was really good at kind of catastrophizing and like making up all the scenarios, but only having them be worst case scenarios, never answering their question, but what if it works? Like I never asked that question.
Got it. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we don't, right? Because there's more drama to look at, like, well, what if it doesn't work? And what if it totally blows up? And, like we're really creative when it comes to telling stories about what happens if everything just like blows up, but we're not very good at telling ourselves stories about what might happen if on the off chance it works out and it goes really well.
And think about that for a second too. So if we're talking about stories, right? Mm-hmm. If we're talking about stories, what story is really fun to tell? A lot of times when you're telling a story of how something just blew up, like you were talking about something blowing up, man, this totally just bombed. Like years later down the line, it'll be the best story ever. If it did go wrong, it'll be the best story ever. 10 years from now, you won't even worry about it. You'll laugh about it. You know, in the moment, you're going to be like, oh, wow, this really sucks. It blew up. 10 years from now, you're going to just laugh, and it's going to be the best story when you think about it. Because typically the positive stories in the moment, they're great in the moment, but 10 years down the road, it's like, this kind of happened. It was good.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely how it works, you know? And so, you know, I think as we're going through these situations, I think one of the things that's helped me the most as I go through this, I think back to all the people that spoke into me, because a lot of times in the midst of our own doubt, we might have other people outside of us that are actually speaking something positive into us, but we have this blinder up. Because we have just decided like what our limitations are, and we almost like have this barrier to being able to hear truth from anybody. And so it's like, okay, press the button, let the wall come down for a second, and be open to what's trying to make its way in, and be willing, I like to say, to like be willing to borrow other people's belief in you.
I like that. I like that. I'm gonna give you one for that.
Yeah, a closed-minded person is most often a fool. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just be open. Like,
if you can't hear, you can't improve.
It's so true. And like, I remember people that I worked with. It's it's time to leave. It's like it's time to leave your company when your own coworkers are like, when are you leaving and doing your own thing? You're like, what am I missing?
Yeah, it might be time.
Isn't it time for you to go start your own business?
Well, that's
funny.
good. They're trying to tell you it's time to leave the nest. And for some of y'all in the audience, it might have been time for you to leave the nest. And maybe you're working right now watching this show. It still may be time for you to leave the nest.
That's true. I work with people all the time. We talk about this kind of stuff all the time. And you know what? A lot of us, guys, it's time for us to back up and maybe take a look at something that we've always wanted to do. We've always had something in the back of our mind that we know is positive. And you know what? That might be God's small, still voice trying to tell us something.
Yeah, absolutely. Rachel, I want to dig into more of your training, right? Because you've got this great program. But my question is, like, incorporating empathy, right? And relatability into your training, like how important is that and how do you do it?
I do it through storytelling. You know, I find that I'm a facilitator and a speaker. So a lot of times people that do this work are one thing or the other. Like they come in, they speak and they kill it and they inspire people, and then people walk away and they're like, that was inspiring, but like, how does that relate to my life?
Right.
And it's really important to me to have people walk away being like, not like, whoa, she was amazing, but that experience was meaningful to me. Like there's a difference, right? So I think what gives people the opportunity to feel like that experience was meaningful is when they get to reflect and connect with each other. So I invite people to do things when I do sessions around resilience, for instance, I love this question of share, or just this prompt. Tell a story or share a way that you've adapted in the past year that you're proud of. And they get in small groups and they talk with each other and they get a moment to like pat themselves on the back after they've been beating themselves up for who knows how long. And they get to have this experience of realizing, oh my gosh, you struggle with that too? Oh gosh, I've been working with you for 10 years and I didn't even know that was a thing for you. Or, another conversation around resilience. Like I do a lot around resilience and I invite people into small groups or pairs to tell a story about a time where they went through a really difficult situation, a time of adversity, but they rose out of it with resilience and resourcefulness. Like what did you do? What strengths did you draw on? Who else was involved? And so I find that one of the greatest ways to build empathy is to invite people into meaningful conversations and connection with each other and sharing with one another, and not thinking that I, as the expert or the speaker, have all of the insight that's worth sharing. I really believe in activating the collective wisdom of the group that I'm with, because I think everybody has something to teach. Everyone has something to share.
That's right.
Can inspire somebody else.
Yeah, I know we're getting down to time, but I wanted to get a feeling for how you incorporate that because, and I love your example about telling stories because think about somebody who's interviewing and they have the resume and they have all of these things and they're being asked questions about what about this, what about this, what about this. Well, this is your story. That's your life. It's you on the resume. You should have a story to be able to tell and share about each and everything. And it shouldn't be that hard because that's you. You've done it. You're putting it on the resume. So
You tell them, Mark.
Yeah.
Get him, boy. That's right. Get it, Mark.
Share that share your story. Don't just give an answer, right? Make it relatable.
Mark,
Make it relatable.
Listen, we just set Mark loose. Tell him. Tell him, Mark.
So anyway, thank you for sharing that. I love it, and people on the show and in our audience, they always hear me say like, keep your attitude and your activity positive, and what you need, you'll get. Right.
Amen to that. Well, speaking of needing and getting, okay, we're going to do some giveaways now. Okay. Needing and getting. Okay. So in the audience, I would like for everybody to go real quick to the YouTube page. I'm going to put a link to the YouTube page in the chat right now. So give me just a moment. I'm getting that link.
No singing.
No singing? I can do it, Foster.
No.
Foster.
No.
Come on now.
I'll give you one of these hundreds if you don't do that.
Foster.
Why you gotta be hating?
Why you hating on me?
I get enough hate.
Why are you hating? Why are you hating? Okay, so I'm putting it in Rachel's. I'm putting it in on your page too. There's a link to the YouTube and on our page as well. So I'm putting it over there.
Oh, good.
So y'all can go over to the YouTube page. Okay, so this is how you're going to participate in the giveaways. Okay, so we've got Rachel's Resiliency Toolkit. Okay, that we're going to be giving away, and we're going to be giving away some VIP tickets to our backstage pass and after party. Okay, so come on over to the YouTube page, and Mark, if you'll pull up the YouTube page.
I got it up.
And see who comes over there. We'll give them some shout-outs.
I already saw Joel. Hey, Joel, how you doing?
Fry.
Joel Fry, Pauline Garrett is in there. Yep.
Love it, love it, love it.
Oh, yeah. We got more people coming in.
Okay.
Every second.
So here's what I need y'all to do, okay? Go ahead and subscribe.
See that pillow? Look at that pillow.
Go ahead and subscribe. Ring that bell, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to give away Rachel's Resilience Toolkit. And if you go to unmutedlife.com, okay, unmutedlife.com, and I'll put that link in the chat as well. If you'll put it in the YouTube chat, Mark. Unmutedlife.com, unmutedlife.com. And when you go there, there'll be a prompt. As soon as you go to that website, you'll see a prompt for her toolkit. Okay, make sure you go ahead and get that. It's free for the entire audience, so everybody. You get a toolkit. You get a toolkit. You all get a toolkit.
Everybody gets a toolkit.
Right, so you're going to get that. And then for our VIP passes, I want to know on YouTube, everybody that's in Dallas, I want you to put #Dallas, okay?
Right.
And we're going to give away a few of these. So what's a question that we can ask the audience, something we've already talked about? Think about something that we've talked about on this show. You guys drawing a blank over there like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a deer in headlights right now.
It's so good. You forget. Yeah, I don't know what to focus on.
All right. So what profession was her mother in and she started her business? She told that story.
Oh, okay.
What did her mother do when she was starting her own business?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a very good question. So tell us that in the chat. And while we're waiting, if everybody in the audience can also take a screenshot of Rachel. Can we pull the 4-box back up with Rachel in there as well? If we could pull that up. And all right, let's take a screenshot now while we're waiting on the answers to come back. Everybody give a thumbs up like this. Okay, all right, you see that? Okay, cool. Now, that's your content, okay? And you heard me earlier talking about pods, right? So what we're gonna do is I want you to take this content, I want you to post it all over social media. I want you to tag Rachel and tell her, what the most impactful moment, one of the mic drop moments of the show was, and how much you appreciate her being here. And then I want you to take that thing and put it in a pod, and let's really blow this thing up, okay? Let's get it all over the place, right? So I appreciate you doing that. Do you have any answers coming back yet, Mark?
Yes, I do. So we've got a couple, but they're not the answer that I was looking for.
Well, what did they say?
They said teacher. They said teacher, but the answer is actually different. When she went to Tony Robbins, her mom and her dad went to Tony Robbins, and she was in a profession, walked on the coals, and then when they came back, she said she started her own business, and she was a...
All right, well, while we're waiting on that answer to come back...
Oh, I do have an answer.
Who got it?
Pauline
Pauline Garrett.
Garrett.
She said finance. Financial planner is what she said. But yeah, finance. Congratulations, Pauline, up in McKinney.
Pauline, guess what that means for you? Guess what that means for you?
Tell her what you want.
Tell her what you got.
You get
Don
that
Pardo.
VIP. You get that VIP. Hey, it's the Who You Know show. We gonna see it. We gonna party. It's gonna be the after party. Because after the party, it's the after party.
It's the after party.
Right? Yeah. So we're going to have some fun. I'm going to send you a VIP ticket. Can't wait to see you. Pauline Garrett in the house on the Who You Know show.
Pauline was already on the Who You Know show. She was one of the winners.
Yeah. So that's amazing. April 6th, we're going to see you here. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fire. And one last thing before we head out of here, okay?
Right.
So, Rachel, if there's anyone that we can connect you with to help you in your mission, right? Tell us a little bit about that. What can we do to help you take your business to that next level?
Yeah.
Is it a person? Is it a connection? Is it a business, a company? What can we do to help take you to that next step?
Yeah, and so I'd love to do more work with like Fortune 500 companies. Like I believe that the work that I do and the messages that I have around resilience and unmuting yourself are things that people really need right now. So, I mean, I've worked with companies that have 25 people to 60,000 people, but I'm working on a book right now that will come out next year. And I really just want to do more of this work. So keynoting, especially, especially organizations that are like, our people are struggling. They need hope. They're feeling disconnected. We need a burst of energy. Can you come do something? Like that's usually why I get brought in. It's like energy, motivation, and engagement is why I get brought in to do stuff. And I've, gotten to work with some pretty amazing
I think we got a Fortune 100 company maybe for her.
Maybe we have a few connections for you. I'm pretty sure we could hook something up. And in the audience, I also want everybody in the audience to understand what you're looking for, because guess what? It's all about who you know. And so it's only one connection away, one conversation away from everything that you want in life. So we got to get it out there. We got to tell the world what we want, tell the universe what we want, and that's how it'll come to us. So we definitely want to hook you up with that. And speaking of, we are super, super, super intentional about bringing on world changers like yourself, Rachel. We want to bring on more world changers like you, okay? So if you could pull up the wish list. Okay, beautiful. So
God, Rachel should have been on that list.
Well, she's on the show, so she's not on the wish list. She's on the actual show.
We're going to put you on there anyway, girl.
Well, no, but she's not on the wish list because I'd have to make a wish.
You're already
here.
Okay, he's way ahead of me. I quit.
Yeah, this is the wish list. These are people that have not been on that we want to have on.
Yeah, we want to get them on.
So if you know anyone on this list, or if anybody in the audience knows anybody on this list, right, send a connection to whoyouknowshow@gmail.com. Again, that's whoyouknowshow@gmail.com. And we are accepting applications for people to come on this show. If there's someone that you think is a world changer that's making a difference out there in their community, we would love to explore having them on this show as well. Rachel, are there any last parting words for the audience? Anything else that you'd like to share with them?
I could leave you with a song that kind of has the message of what I believe in.
There you go.
Oh,
there
yeah.
There you go. The mic's ready.
Going back to Sunday school. So what I think of, I think so often I mentioned I hid my light and the thing that brought me joy because I judged myself and I felt self-conscious. And I think a lot of us, I think too many of us, we hide our light. And the reality is like, you're not too much. Don't let other people dim what you have to offer. Like the world can be a dark place, and we need all of our light to be like fully turned on, like dimmer off, let's go. So when I think of the song that connects to that, it's a song that you're all familiar with. And so here we go. I encourage everyone to like sit up like you're a Care Bear, like the Care Bear stare where they had the light come out of their chest. It's like that. Like we're gonna have that moment. Okay.
I laugh because my son's got that Care Bear.
We're ready.
All right, so here we go. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
They're still rolling.
Guys, Rachel, thank you so much for dropping all these mics.
Yes.
And for all, just everything. Thank you for shining your light on our audience.
Yes.
We appreciate you. Guys, that's the show.
It's
all about who y'all know.
Bye.
Trevor Houston here, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Who You Know Job Networking Show. We hope you've been inspired, encouraged, educated, and entertained all at the same time. For information on our different events, workshops, partners, or partnership opportunities available, check out whoyouknow.show for more details. And be on the lookout for our new mobile app. You never know how this show can help someone you know? And if we've made an impact or put a smile on your face today, don't forget to hit that share button on your way out. Until next week, it's all about who you know. Bye!
Donuts.